Wow, what an amazing weekend of football it was. Some really amazing games and individual performances, and of course, there were also a few developments on what could potentially happen this summer. All this and more on your reliable source of football news, Goalside. So make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay informed on everything football. Today we're going to talk about Arsenal and which direction the Gunners are going under Mikel Arteta. But that's not everything. Lionel Messi's time at Barcelona might be coming to an end, but in Sergio Dest, La Blaugrana might have found the next big star. What exactly is wrong with Fred? Why can't he be a proper passer of the ball? Haaland has apparently given an ultimatum to Borussia Dortmund after the team slipped to yet another draw. The young Norwegian is definitely losing patience, so we have to talk about it. Messi broke yet another record during the win over Real Sociedad, while Kylian Mbappe has reached another career milestone. So sit back and enjoy as we talk about all this and more for the next few minutes. A new Centurion in France. On Sunday, Paris Saint-Germain registered a comfortable 4-1 win over Olympique Lyonnais. The win puts Mauricio Pochettino's men in a much better position to regain their Ligue 1 title. Kylian Mbappe scored twice in the game and in the process completed a century of goals in France's top flight. Of course, the feat shouldn't come as a surprise, but it's astonishing to see such a young player hit the 100 mark so early in his career. The only sour part of the achievement was that the youngster was forced to come off a little earlier than he would have liked due to an injury. But not to worry. The France international was taken off only as a precaution, but there is always an air of apprehension around Parc des Princes given the fact that Neymar has already missed 9 games due to injury, and the club would prefer to have both men 100% fit ahead of the Champions League tie with Bayern Munich. Juventus suffer yet another setback. Alright, raise your hand if you know much about Benevento. Okay, so Benevento are a small club based in the Campania region, and they're known as the Sorcerers. They were promoted to the Serie A for the first time in their club's history, and after a rude awakening, they've started to put together a decent run of results. However, the weekend's game against Juventus was never going to be an easy one, and with the reigning league champions playing at home, the task was nigh on impossible. However, once Adolfo Gaich scored for the away side, the defenders made sure to protect the thin lead. The defeat meant that Juve are now 10 points behind the league leaders Inter Milan. The old lady had a whopping 73% of possession, but it mattered little. Clearly, people must be wondering if Andrea Pirlo is the right man to lead the Bianconeri in the long term. Juventus aren't playing bad or anything, but they don't offer a lot in the final third. And this is the issue that's pretty much cost them their title. Do you think that Pirlo is going to stay beyond the current season? We seriously doubt it. So let us know what you think in the comments section. Leeds legend passes away. Supporters of Leeds United are in mourning after their legendary striker and the club's all-time leading goalscorer, Pete Lorimer, passed away at the age of 74. He was known for his long-distance shooting skills, and he wowed the club's fans and neutrals alike during the 60s and 70s. He also guided the team to 2 league titles, an FA Cup and the League Cup, during Don Revie's legendary reign at the club. Thunderboots, as he was known by his fans, was a true legend, and his loss is definitely a big one. Why, Fred? Why? Okay, so there is no shame in losing 3-1 to Leicester City at home, but the manner in which that Manchester United lost the game really needs an explanation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men really didn't look interested in reaching the quarter-final of the FA Cup in the way that they approached the game. Yes, we understand that the lads were tired following a grueling game against AC Milan a few days before. Fixtures have not been kind to anyone, so fatigue does play a role. However, fatigue isn't supposed to dictate your body language, right? And when you look at Fred, especially when he's got the ball at his feet, you feel nervous because the Brazilian does have a habit of losing possession at the worst possible moment. Now, we've been noticing this quite a lot, and we're surprised that it wasn't being discussed by the people from Sky or BT. It was Harry Maguire's first pass and then Fred's clueless pass back to Dean Henderson that saw Kelechi Iheanacho score the opening goal. However, it wasn't surprising since he'd already missed a pass on 2 occasions. But hey, Fred was again slow to react as Yuri Tielemans had acres of space to make a run and score the second of the night. So why is it that Solskjaer persists in using him? It gets even riskier when you have Nemanja Matic as his partner. The Serb doesn't really lose the ball much, but he doesn't have any jetpack on his heels either. It was even more surprising to see that Fred wasn't brought off when United decided to make 4 changes. Clearly, the 28-year-old is a bit of a liability, even though you can't question his effort. We can't end this discussion without talking about Donny van de Beek. lot of people, including us at times, have talked about how unfairly he's been treated at the club. Indeed, with his talent, the Dutch midfielder could be a crucial member of the starting 11, but he hasn't been given any chances. When he does get his chances though, the 23-year-old doesn't really take them. During the defeat to the Foxes, Van der Beek started ahead of Bruno Fernandes, and apart from that one moment where his great awareness and his dummy allowed Mason Greenwood to equalise, there wasn't much to see. Too many times he played it too safe and showed little to no willingness to make things happen like Fernandes does. Not sure if there's enough time left for the former Ajax man to resurrect his career at Old Trafford. Dest arrives. While Christian Pulisic's struggles at Chelsea continue, his fellow countryman Sergio Dest continues to grow from strength to strength at Barcelona. The American international took some time to settle into a new environment, but in the 6-1 thrashing of Real Sociedad showed that he has a great future ahead of him. The youngster linked up very well with Lionel Messi and he scored twice while playing as a fullback. He might be new to this, but the US international is growing into his attacking responsibilities. Barcelona were on fire, and Dest was perhaps the best player on the pitch. The youngster is great when attacking, and both goals showed that he might even transition into a winger in the future. He's only 20, and the future is bright for Dest. Of course, there are a few things in his game that need to be worked on, but you can expect that from somebody so young. Perhaps the rise of Dest and the signs of the team working really well together might convince Messi to stay beyond the current campaign. Haaland throws his shirt and storms off. With 21 goals in 21 games from their in-form striker, you would expect Borussia Dortmund to be fighting for the title. However, reality can be much more complicated. Die Borussen are in 5th place in the league standings and trail Eintracht Frankfurt by 4 points with only 12 games left. The 20-year-old scored yet another brace in the 2-2 draw with Köln and was visibly frustrated at the final whistle, throwing away his jersey at Spanish player Mere and went into the tunnel. We're sure he must have had a few choice words to say for his defenders, who continue making one blunder after another. Dortmund can't wait for this season to finish and welcome Marco Rose. However, the current Borussia Mönchengladbach manager might inherit a team that isn't playing in the Champions League next season and devoid of the services of their best player. If they don't finish inside the top 4, Dortmund can say goodbye to their star striker, who's already attracting interest from loads of leading lights of European football as it is. So what's going to happen? Well, at least 4 or 5 of the biggest sides in Europe are going to be vying for his signature, so Dortmund need to work on finishing inside the top 4 and then hope that it's enough to convince the Norwegian to stay at the Signal Iduna Park. Would it? Arsenal, a tale of two halves. On Sunday, Arsenal managed to earn a point from their trip to West Ham. The final result was 3-3, but the game could have gone either way. In fact, we dare call this game as one of the best of the Premier League this season. West Ham were on fire in the opening 45, scoring 3 times against Mikel Arteta's men. The scoreline could have been even more, but that's just how frantic things were. And nothing actually changed once both teams got out of the tunnel for the second half. Only this time, Arsenal were looking like a completely different side from the one that was absolutely mauled by David Moyes' men. The Gunners attacked from the first moment and kept piling on the pressure onto the Hammers' defence. Eventually, they managed to make it 3-3, and they could have nicked a point as well. That was a really good attacking display in the second half, and just shows you that under Arteta, the Gunners have a lot of heart, and they're not going to fold when they're faced with adversity. At the same time, however, Arsenal's defending is quite questionable. Even during the second half when they were all over West Ham, they still could have conceded more goals. And now, this is going to be a major worry for Arteta going forward. Up front, they have a lot of good players, with Martin Ødegaard really running the show every time he has the ball. But when it comes to defending, there are quite a few gaping holes that need to be filled. Nonetheless, for neutrals, watching Arsenal is quite fun, but for the fans, it can be a testing 90-minute affair. But hey, if the you score, we score more philosophy is what works for them, then who cares, right?